The grand ballroom of the Blackwood mansion was buzzing with laughter, music, and sparkling lights, but all of that stopped when Victoria Sterling appeared. She walked down the marble floor like a queen. Her red gown flowed gracefully, one leg revealed through a high slit, exuding confidence, power, and elegance. Every eye turned toward her. Richard Blackwood, the millionaire who had invited her as a cruel joke, froze. "Victoria, what? I'm exactly where I've always belonged," she said, her voice calm yet sharp. Gasps echoed through the room. Victoria raised her hand, showing a sapphire ring engraved with the Blackwood family crest. "This belonged to my grandfather, and yes, I am your half-sister." The ballroom erupted. Cameras flashed, whispers spread, and Richard's smug smile vanished. The man who had thought himself untouchable had just met the storm he had created. Victoria's journey to this moment was anything but simple. For 2 years, she had cleaned every corner of this mansion. She had seen the faces of the rich, arrogant, and cruel, people who smiled with fake politeness while treating her like she didn't exist. Then came the invitation, carefully placed in a golden envelope. Richard laughed as he handed it to her. "Charity gala on Saturday. Dress code, maximum elegance. Surely you have something suitable?" He thought it would humiliate her. He even made a bet with his wife Helena. $100,000 says she won't show up. And if she does, she'll be entertainment for the night. Helena giggled, imagining Victoria awkwardly arriving and fleeing within minutes. But they didn't know that Victoria wasn't just any employee. Victoria's PLA and 3 o'clock to 4:30. Victoria's calm confidence didn't come from wealth, it came from preparation, strategy, and years of endurance. She had chosen this job deliberately. For 2 years, she had gained access to every room, every document, every secret in the mansion. She had watched, learned, and waited. And now it was her time. She didn't just show up, she arrived like a queen, every step deliberate, every glance commanding respect. As she entered the ballroom, guests whispered in disbelief, "My God, she actually came. Where did she get that dress?" Little did they know, it wasn't bought, rented, or borrowed. It was a family heirloom, a piece of her history and proof of the life Richard had tried to erase. Richard tried to regain control. "Victoria, what a surprise. I never doubted you'd come," he said, attempting a calm tone, but it faltered. Victoria met his gaze with unwavering strength. "Go on, Richard. Finish your sentence." For a moment, he hesitated. There was a firmness in her tone he hadn't seen before. "You must be intimidated by all this elegance." He-S-T-A-M-M-E-R-E-D. Victoria smiled, not nervously, but with a dangerous serenity. "Intimidated? No, I am exactly where I've always belonged." The guests fell silent. The air changed. The room that had been filled with arrogance and mockery now trembled under Victoria's quiet power. The revelation, 6:30 to 8:30. Then she revealed the truth. Her voice cut through the murmurs. "This dress belonged to my mother. My mother was Isabella Temps Blackwood, and I am Richard's half-sister." The silence was deafening. People stopped talking. Cameras flashed. Richard's face turned pale. Helena grabbed his arm, sensing the disaster unfolding. Victoria reached into her purse and pulled out a sapphire ring, the family heirloom. "This is proof of my bloodline, and proof of the life you tried to erase." At that moment, Diane Morrison, investigative journalist, David Chun, inheritance lawyer, and Dr. Hamilton, the family's doctor, entered the room. They confirmed the story. Richard had poisoned their father, Henry Blackwood. He had stolen the family fortune. And now everything was about to unravel. Victoria connected her phone to the sound system. The voice of Richard Blackwood filled the room. "You will keep quiet about anything strange in the old man's blood. If you speak, you'll ruin your career. And that woman and her daughter, they'll fend for themselves." Gasps filled the room. The socialites who had laughed moments ago now stepped back. Richard's empire of fear was crumbling in real time. Police sirens echoed outside. Within minutes, Richard would be arrested, his wealth frozen, and his lies exposed. Aftermath and Victoria's victory. 10:30 to 12:30. 6 months later, Victoria sat in Richard's former office. The walls no longer displayed trophies of greed, they now showed awards for community service, employee promotions, and social initiatives. Under her leadership, the company thrived. Fair wages, promotions based on merit, scholarships, microloans, and support for underserved communities. Profits rose by 40%, driven not by fear, but by respect and dignity. Even Helena approached her, apologizing. Victoria's answer was firm, yet compassionate. "Children don't pay for their parents' sins. They deserve a chance to be better." Victoria's story had gone viral worldwide. She received speaking invitations, interviews, and recognition, but she focused on building real change, not fame. The lesson Victoria taught everyone is simple but powerful. Power built on cruelty and fear is fragile. Power built on justice, courage, and intelligence is unstoppable. Victoria had turned 20 years of suffering into triumph. She had reclaimed her family, her inheritance, and her dignity. She had transformed a company built on exploitation into one of opportunity and fairness. And Richard? He learned the hardest truth of all: never underestimate the person you think is invisible. Victoria's story is proof that when justice meets preparation, the results are unstoppable, and the most overlooked person in the room can become the most powerful.